Sharon Gordon from Dudley was murdered inside her home. Her body was found on Friday the 21st of July 2023 when her friends had not heard from her in several days. She was a hard-working person and also attended church regularly, and this is where she met Peter Norgrove from Sedgley. He was sentenced this week at Wolverhampton Crown Court to 15 years minimum for the murder of the woman that was paying him to build an extension on her home. When I attended the scene of the murder, we didn't know any of this information, and there was speculation circulating that she may have been stabbed to death, and I think we may have mentioned this on the live as well, and I did apologise to one of her friends who believed this was misleading because it's true, and this was just sheer speculation from the local area. It later emerged that she suffered blunt force trauma to the head. She was hit with a hammer several times. And self-employed Norgrove was a recently qualified bricklayer, and his services had been recommended to Mrs. Gordon by a friend at the church that they both attended. The 40-year-old agreed to undertake an extension at Mrs. Gordon's property, and this started 2 years ago, but the work was problematic and was taking many months to complete. And you can see this in the video that I took on the road, on Bromford Road, several days after her body was discovered. There was still brickwork that was needed to be done in the front of the house, and this has been carried on for a small extension for several years. The police launched a murder investigation after they found her at the bottom of the stairs with serious injuries, during which they established that Norgrove had carried out work at the property on the day that she died. Norgrove confirmed this in a witness statement, but he said he went about his work as usual and Mrs. Gordon was working upstairs when he left for the day. However, extensive CCTV inquiries were able to prove that he told lies in his statements about his actions, also the time that he left, and he was later arrested. Camera footage from Mrs. Gordon's property, captured on the day in question, also showed Norgrove behaving in a manner that suggested he was involved in her death, and through further inquiries they traced his movements to a relative's home, and they found blood-stained items in a wheelie bin. Further searches of the address revealed a lump hammer that was hidden inside a shed, and tests found Mrs. Gordon's blood on it. These traces were not immediately visible to the human eye, but fortunately the police have dogs that are able to detect the smallest amount of blood anywhere. They charged Norgrove with Mrs. Gordon's murder on the 26th of July. He was remanded in custody and pleaded guilty to the offence at Wolverhampton Crown Court on the 4th of December. Detective Inspector Damien Forrest, who led the investigation, said Mrs. Gordon tragically lost her life in a violent attack by Peter Norgrove. This appears to have stemmed from him losing his temper in a disagreement over work that he was carrying out. Mrs. Gordon's friends and family have been deeply affected by her death, and Mr. Norgrove now faces the consequences for his appalling actions. Our thoughts remain with her family. Mrs. Gordon's family have spoken about the effects of her death, and it continues to plague them every single day. They said they remain devastated at the loss of their beloved sister Sharon, and also their lives will never be the same again. Sharon had much to live for, and no one could anticipate that renovating your home would end in murder. Sharon simply wanted to improve her home, but sadly this was brutally taken away, and any of the benefits she may have enjoyed. So this is an update to a story that I initially covered last year, and thank you to everybody that has followed this story, and I want to pay my respects to the friends and family of Sharon. And this is a devastating case where somebody has lost their temper in a disagreement over something that should have already been done. He wasn't ready for the job, and he wasn't prepared enough for the job, and he wasn't skilled enough to have done the job. And in this case, it has led to the horrific death of Sharon. So really appreciate you joining me today. Please don't forget to like, comment, share and subscribe. I'll be back again very shortly with some more news. Don't forget to follow on social media as well at Scarcity Studios on Instagram, TikTok, Twitter and Facebook. Peace.
The day before yesterday, a man has been arrested today, and that is the latest update the police have given. The scene is still closed off, and there is still a large police presence. It's believed to have happened at this address where you can see a car is on the drive, it's taped up, windows are open, there's forensics here at the moment, and there is a large investigation undergoing. The woman has been identified. I believe her name is Sharon or Shannon Gordon. She's 52 years old, I believe. This information has just broke, so we'll definitely keep you updated on how that carries on, or the developments in that story. So don't forget, you can get the full details to this story later on the YouTube channel. But But for now, I'm just going to stream for a moment from the scene so you can get an idea of what has occurred here. Thank you to everyone joining. Antisocial Beach, Africa, big up. Your dad, everybody, AP, thank you for joining the live. And please share as well to get the information around. The forensics potentially could be coming out very shortly. This is day 2, I believe, that they've been inside the property. 97, accept, join the live. Go on, let's see. That one, I've made a new Instagram now, Scarcity Studios _. You can follow with 100,000 followers on the last Instagram that got deleted.